Right, just let me strip the bullshit out of this straight from the start because a 100K funded account can really change your life, but not in the way that most people on Instagram are going to tell you. And if you stay with me to the end of this video, you will understand exactly how to make money from one without blowing it up within 30 days like most people do. And I've made thousands of dollars from trading. I've had big payouts, I've had losing streaks, and you know what? I've definitely blown up accounts as well. So this isn't going to be theory that we're going to go through. This is the stuff that actually works. Now, if you've just got funded or you're trying to, these are the 5 principles that are going to determine whether you actually make money or not, or whether you just lose the account within the first 30 days. So let's jump straight into number 1. Now, number 1 is actually the comparison game. And this is one of the biggest ones. Most traders are playing the wrong game. They're actually looking at the leaderboards on the prop firms. They're looking at these 20K payouts and they're looking at other traders just flexing online. And they think, you know what, I need that. And that's exactly what prop firms want. Because the moment that you actually start thinking like that, you start over risking, you start chasing, and eventually you blow up the account. And here's the shift that actually changed everything for me. I stopped trying to get rich and I started trying to just replace my income. And that's it. It's that simple. Because let me give you some real numbers. At one point, my monthly expenses were only around 2K a month, which means that just on one 100K funded account, I only need to actually make 2% a month to cover my entire life. Now, actually think about that properly. You don't actually need 10% wins, you don't need 20% gains, and you definitely do not need to be the top trader. You just need consistency. Now, number 2 is actually just lock in the profits and then rotate the accounts. And this is where most traders will actually mess it up. You get a few good trades. You're up 2K, you're up 3K, you're up 5K. And instead of securing it, you start thinking, let me push for 10. And that is where it all goes wrong. Because what actually happens is you get one loss and then you get another and then you're trying to win it all back. And now you're just getting emotional when you're revenge trading. And now you're definitely forcing trades. And before you know it, you've given absolutely everything back. Or even worse, you might have just blown up the entire account. And trust me, I've done it. I've done it multiple times. But the shift is this. If there's money available to withdraw, then just take it. There's no ego. There's no leaderboard in mind. It's just, there's no just one more trade. Because when I last got funded, I made around 2K within the first couple of days. And I withdrew it straight away. And that's when trading starts working really. It's not when you hit that first 30K, it's when you actually start making money or taking money out consistently. Now, number 3 is the snowball effect. And this is how you actually then scale. Because let's face it, one 100K account on its own probably isn't enough long term. It's just a starting point. So here's the structure that I use. Every payout, the first thing I do is I put the tax aside. This is a non-negotiable. And then what's left gets split. And I know there's different tax rates and things like that, so we could go into that on future videos. But let's just say you've got now 50% for you and 50% of what's left after tax to scale. So let's do some real numbers. So say you get a 2K payout after tax, that might be roughly, I don't know, $1,400. So you take $700 and then you've used the $700 that's left to buy more funded accounts. Now, instead of just one account, you've now got 2, or at least got another one in a challenge stage, and then you've got 3, and then you've got 4, and then you've got 5. And then this is where things really start to change, because now you're not relying on just one account. You're actually building a portfolio. And that's what creates real income, because you can rotate these accounts. You're not just relying on one lucky payout. Number 4 is actually making money real. Now, this is something that most traders don't realize, because when the money is just numbers on a screen, it doesn't actually feel real. You'll risk it differently and you'll definitely lose it easier. You'll actually sit there and you'll be 3K, 4K, maybe even 5K up, and you'll just think, you know what, yeah, this is fine. But you know what, if you spend, or most people, if they spend £500 in real life, they will register that and it will be a different story. So here's the rule that I kind of live by. And it's like every time I actually get paid, I'll take 10% of the bit that's for me and I'll physically spend it on something that I actually want. I will go out, I'll buy something, I'll have a meal, I'll experience it. Because that's what connects trading to your real life. Because otherwise, it just becomes another game. And when it's a game, you're then going to lose control. Now, number 5 is proper risk management. This is what keeps you trading. So if you ignore everything else, then do not ignore this. Because on a 100K account, you should never be risking, in my opinion, more than 0.5% per trade. That's $500 max. And I know there's going to be loads of people out there who say that's way too small. But you know what? I don't think it is. Because let me ask you this. If you could consistently actually make $500 per trade, would that improve your life? Well, it would with most. Of course it would. That's going to be mills out. That's going to be meals out. That's going to be bills covered. That's going to be pressure removed. Traders just don't think like that. They want the 5K trades, the 10K trades. And that's when, well, that's why they don't last. The goal is actually simple here. It's to get funded and stay funded. Because once you're consistent, that's when you can scale. But you know what, if you keep just blowing these accounts up, then you're always going to be starting from zero every single time. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is proof of your system. This is the one that keeps you going. Now, that first payout, even if it's just £100, I can guarantee you will be worth everything to you, because it actually proves that this stuff works. You can start to ignore the naysayers that are saying that trading's a scam and you'll never make it. And once that clicks, your whole mindset starts to change. You stop chasing, you stop forcing trades, and you stop trying to make it. And you actually start operating like someone who already has a system that actually just works. And that's the shift. So if you take absolutely anything from this, it's this. You don't need to get rich from one account. You need to get consistent. You need to lock in your payouts, and you need to control your risk and scale it properly. And that is how just a single 100K funded account can actually change your life. Now, if you want to see exactly how, I trade this, what I'm actually looking for in the markets on a day-to-day basis, and how I actually structure all of this stuff properly, and then there's actually going to be two ways you can go deeper into this with me. The first option is actually to book a call with me directly. We'll go through exactly where you're at, what's missing in your trading, and whether your strategies, or whether my strategy, are even the right fit for you. And then the second option is I've actually put together a free PDF which actually breaks down one of my core strategies, step by step, simple instructions you can follow. So if you're just looking for something practical to start with, then just grab that below. The links are in the description. And also drop a comment if this has helped. And I will see you on the next one.